Okay, so the final thing, this is going to be a short podcast. Like normally I have 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, it might hit 40 minutes. We're at 32 right now, so... Oh... Do I not want to talk about this? I really don't. I really don't. Because, again, it's like, and there have been times in this podcast where I said, I don't want to talk about this. And it seems like I do want to talk about it. Like, obviously, I want to talk about it kind of because I'm talking about it. But, oh my gosh. Let's talk about Shaq. Let's talk about the TNT inside crew, NBA inside crew for a minute. I didn't watch the halftime. I was going to get food. My son woke up and I had to take care of him. So, to be quite honest, I didn't watch the halftime. I've read numerous things about what was said, so I don't know how true they are. So I apologize if this take is a little bit messy, but I did watch the post-game one. The post-game thing, I'm not worried about that as much because it's just him saying, I don't think you're an elite player yet. What do you have to say to that? And Donovan just said, whatever, I don't care. It was a great thing that he said. But let me tell you something about this, okay? That particular exchange was watched 1 million times just in the first 24 hours of it being recorded and put it on the internet. 1 million times. Okay? I've been a YouTuber for a long time, but since 2008, which not like just casual. Now it's like serious. You know what I mean? I can tell when somebody's clickbaiting you hard. When you're trying to just pick up views. When you're trying to just get ratings. My wife has a cousin that literally has a show and it's clickbaity stuff. Like, it just is. It's clickbaity. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It is. Just from the titles and what they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's clickbait. I know how it works. Because if you watch this thing, we'll talk about the post game first, I guess. I was going to talk about halftime first, but whatever. If you watch this or listen to Shaq's all like, yo, Donovan, I just wanted you to hear my feelings on how I don't think you're going to be an elite player. And he said it like, I don't want to say this, but like, I have to because that's going to get us ratings. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's the whole reason. I genuinely think that Shaq was just doing it to rile up Donovan. Maybe to get a controversial statement or something out of him. Or maybe he actually feels that way. I think that's to the lesser degree. I honestly do not think he feels that way. Just from how he sounded with it. And then when Donovan said he's like, what? That's not the answer I wanted. That's not what I wanted. It's like, dude, like, are you kidding me? Like, for real. You know what Donovan's about. You know what he's going to do. He's a humble guy. He's not going to sit there and go, well, proud out my chest and I'm the big guy and I'm going to do it. Gosh darn it. He's probably thinking that, but he's not going to say it directly. So the thing that bugged me about last night, and I'm on this forum the whole day, and I'm like, I am super sick of Shaq. Like, let's be honest. I'm sick of freaking Charles Barkley and Shaq. And Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith's just jealous, honestly. I don't know what he's jealous about. He took the Jazz out in 2 playoff appearances, won 2 rings. So you can shut up. But he said, if this is what I read that they said, if he ain't scoring, what's he doing? How's he impacting the game? He had 5 assists and 7 rebounds last night. Your boy Kobe never passed the ball. Never. Kobe Bryant averages around like 30-something points in the playoffs. 4.9 rebounds and 5.2 assists, I believe. Something like that. Donovan Mitchell is almost identical to that, like I said. This year, I think I mentioned maybe a few times where he's not at 5 assists. And when he's struggling, he's getting more assists than ever. So like, people are saying today, they're like, you're assuming that's what he meant. No, when you say when he's not scoring, how's he impacting the game? You're saying that his passing and his rebounding and his defense don't affect the game at all. I think his defense to a lesser degree affects this, but offensively, okay, he's getting assists, he's getting rebounds, he's getting like 3, 4, 5 assists a game. Okay, he hasn't had a game yet where he didn't have an assist in the game. Okay, so if that's the case, what are we even discussing here? Or are you just trying to get a controversial statement for views? Like honestly, and to piss off people. Like, man, like, I don't care what the media ever says, because you know what? They're not going to say a ton of good things about the Jazz anyway. ESPN and TNT, they don't say good things anyway. Their takes are so stupid. Like, they don't understand half the game, and I think some of them don't understand what it takes to compete. Like, they don't. Like, there was one guy, what was his name, Ryan Hollis? Yeah. So when LeBron went to the Lakers his first year, this is when they didn't make the playoffs. This was the last time LeBron wasn't in the playoffs. He was like, it's all about the Lakers. That's what he said. It's all about the Lakers. But he didn't have anything to back it up. And it's rare that you get these guys go on there and say something smart. Like, their take is on gut. Not gut, I'm sorry. On just what they think at the time. Like, I sat there last night for at least 2 hours researching these different stats. Look, Charles Barkley, points and maybe rebounds, he was effective. Shaq, points and rebounds. Not even free throws. And maybe defense, he was effective. So come on, man. You can't just say, if he's scoring, what's he not doing? There are 2 plays against the Pelicans that he got on NBA top 5 for, and they were both when he passed the ball. That crossover, that insane crossover last night, man, I hope those guys' ankles are okay. Or that guy's ankles are okay. And this pass, I had to watch it like 5 times last night. Because I have never seen a player do this. Like, he knows where these players are going to be. He knows where Bogdanovich is going to be. He got caught in the middle. I didn't even know Bogdanovich was there. And Donovan's like, passes out to him like it was nothing. 3-pointer goes in. Like, yeah, he's super ineffective if he's not scoring, guys. Like, come on. Like, if you honestly think that, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're thinking wrong. Like, you're wrong. Like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're not right. And that's what was bugging me about being on the forum, because I was saying, look, I never said he was an elite player. Let's get this straight. I never said through this segment that I'm pissed because he said that Donovan's not an elite player. even though I think he is. That's fine. That's my opinion. If it's not your opinion, whatever. I don't care. And if you think my head, some guy said that your head's in the clouds if you're thinking that. Fine, my head's in the clouds. I don't care. That's my opinion. I think he's an elite player. He took the corner in the playoffs. It's basically like his 5th year in the league, even though it's technically his 4th. He's taken that corner. He has. Sorry, I just seen it. I've never... That's the thing I got excited about this year with the Jazz is that, even though we didn't beat the Nuggets, I knew the Jazz were going to be good. They played so well against them. Without Bogey. Without the second scorer, a guy that was averaging 20 points a game. And they were still keeping up with him. Not defensively, and I didn't even think defensively they would pick it up. I was like, dude, this is going to be a 3-seed team at best, probably, for the Jazz. But they could go higher. They could go 2. They could go 1. They could go 3. Easily. Just because of how good defensively they're playing and how good offensively they're playing. Look, last night they scored 31 points in the first quarter but gave up 43. Okay, what do you do when you're getting kicked around? You make them score 26 and then you score 13 more than them, which was 39. For real, that's a great team right there. I think just that quarter, just those 2 quarters, you could just look and go, well, the Jazz are a good team. They're a great team. And I'm getting off topic, so I'm sorry about that. But look, man, that's the whole thing. And I've watched some YouTubers that have watched these people like me give takes. I try to be as smart as I can. I try to be as informative, and I try not to say anything stupid that I don't really believe. I've said this before, if I give a hot take, I honestly believe it. And a hot take that I have is Donovan Mitchell is an elite player in this league. He is. Okay? My head's in the clouds. Fine. I really don't care what you have to say about that. If you really think that my head's up in the clouds, fine. Fine. I don't care. If you don't think the Jazz are a great team, fine. Fine. That's my opinion. And unless something drastically changes, which I don't see it happening, because the Jazz are getting so consistent now, and they've been consistent actually all year, even though they've lost a couple games they should have won. They're getting 5, 6, 7 guys in double figures. I think the highest they've had is 7. But 5, 6, 7 guys in double figures. And I think it was 3 or 4 times you had 3 guys with 20 points or more. And then there's 5 or 6 times where you've had them twice with 20 points or more. I'll annotate this in the video if I'm wrong, but you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know how you can argue with that. You can't. You can't do it. So for me, just whatever, Shaq, whatever, Barkley, you guys are just saying it to get views. I'll admit, I like watching the TNT broadcasts. I think they're way better than ESPN. I think the pregame is way better than ESPN. I think they hired a lot of good people on there. But last night is just dude, come on. And then it's like he said, I just wanted you to hear my take. It's okay, what do you want Donovan to say? You just want him to say, well, I'm one of the best players in the league. He's not going to do that. I'm sorry, he didn't bite for your garbage. And people are well, it wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad, but it's dude, what was the point of that? There's no point. And there's no point to the halftime thing because you're wrong. I'm sorry to tell everybody, but if you think he's just impactful with just his scoring, you're wrong. He's also impactful with his turnovers. I get that. Where he kind of helps the teams out a little bit. But he's not just impactful with his scoring. And people are saying, well, Donovan should be the second or third option. No, come on. He went 5 for 6 in the first quarter with 13 points. Nah, That's first option stuff. I get where you're coming from because he had a couple games where he struggled, but he ain't doing that no more. He's focusing. I think he's dialed in. And that's the thing. The only thing with this season, though, is like we haven't played. Oh, we played some good teams and beat them. We beat Portland. We beat OKC. We beat we beat Milwaukee. We beat Denver. We've beaten some good teams this year. So it's not just like we're off to a good start playing crappy teams. Like there are a lot of crappy teams that they're playing, but they're not losing to really crappy. Like they're not losing to like the worst of the worst. They lost to a really legit Brooklyn team. They lost to a really, kind of legit, maybe playoff contender Knicks team. They should have beat the Timberwolves, which they're garbage. And who was the other loss? I have it in front of me. I should just look it up. Timberwolves and the Suns. And the Suns are legit. And they only lost by 11. And I think the next game they'll beat them. And people are like, well, what are the Jazz going to do when a defense is playing physical? That defense they played last night, the Pelicans, was physical. And it was quick. And the Jazz responded in just a quarter. So look, man, like this is a great Jazz team. And again, another hot take. Right now, as of right now, this is the best team in the NBA. Number one best team in the NBA. And you have one of the best players on the team in Donovan Mitchell. And you have another really good player in Rudy Gobert. You have another really good player in Mike Conley. You have another really good player, Jordan Clarkson. You got 4 really good guys. And you got a guy who can make it no matter what. I think his progression with his wrist has been going a lot better than I thought with Bogey. So look, man. Jazz are a great team. Donovan Mitchell's efficient. Donovan Mitchell is an elite player, in my opinion. And Shaq, come on, dude. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but seriously, there was no point to what you were doing last night. So, whatever. Let's go ahead and go into the games, because technically I'm going to have to go preview a few games till Sunday. So we got 5 games we're going to be looking at, and I'm already pretty close to like 45 minutes, so we might hit an hour on this one. I never have done that before. That'd be kind of exciting. We got the Warriors tomorrow. I think the Jazz, it'll be a closer matchup than people think. I think the Jazz are going to win this one 115 to 112. Then the Knicks pull into town on Tuesday. I think the Jazz will win this game soundly. I think they won't come out and play like they did the other night against them. I think the Jazz win this one 118 to 102. The Mavericks, you get them twice. I think it's going to be a little more difficult than the Pelicans, let's be honest. Let's look at the standings. Mavericks are 7-7, so I'm just going to go with my gut. I think the Jazz are going to dominate both games again. Like 129 to 110 will be on Wednesday. And I think 117 to 100 will be Friday. And then we play the Nuggets again in their hometown Sunday. I think this one will be close again too. I think the Jazz win this one 110 to 105. That's it for this week. I'll try to do these more regularly. Again, I just kind of lost interest. But I think the Jazz get my horsey going, kind of, pique my interest. That's my word that I use, or my sentence I use. So anyway, folks, I will see you next week. Hopefully, we can get the YouTube content and all this other stuff out there for y'all. And again, I'll see you next week.